Hey, hi, hello ladies, welcome back to the channel. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Me, I'm doing fine, and today we're gonna be talking about some drama in the rock and roll world. But before we do, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a zero. This is my little YouTube channel where I talk about punk rock and roll and all sorts of little drama stuff that happens there. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit me with some hype points, why not? But today, we're here to talk about a band that I don't really listen to. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to be the biggest Beartooth enjoyer, okay? But that is the band we're talking about today, Beartooth. And this band came out with a new single called Free. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I think the song, well, it's not for me. Let's just say that, okay? The song definitely isn't for me, but it turns out the song wasn't for a lot of people. Beartooth released this song Free. They released a music video to it, and it got incomprehensible amounts of backlash, heat, and hatred directed towards the song, directed towards the music video, and most importantly, directed towards the lead singer, Caleb Shomo. So much heat went towards Caleb Shomo that he ended up having to delete his social media profiles. Now, he changed his look dramatically. He went from being like a very rock and roll kind of guy, you know, a lot of bandanas, a lot of denim, you got the tattoos and the gold watches and that kind of thing. And in this new video for Free, yeah, he changed his look a little bit. He went more in a young blood type direction, you know, he's got his abs out, he's showing his little, what are those, like obliques or whatever, he's showing his muscle definition, he's got the makeup going on the eyes, he's got like the crop top leather jacket going, and to say the least, this shocked a lot of fans. And not only did it shock a lot of fans, not only were they surprised by this look, but they were very, very mean about it. They threw so many homophobic slurs at him, and they said so many mean things, like death threats and all sorts of stuff like that, that it went beyond the band and Caleb himself, that it ended up going towards his family members and all that sort of stuff. It got really pathetic and really stupid just because a couple guys didn't like the way another guy dressed. It's very strange. It's a paradigm that I don't quite understand. We'll get right back to the video, but I just want to show you guys this GoFundMe that I started. I made a whole video about it yesterday. We're already at $840, people. Thank you so much. I have a $2,500 goal, and I'm trying to reach it by the 14th because I'm going down to Texas because Fat Mike invited me to his band's documentary, so I need to go down there and watch that, but it's gonna cost me so much money that I do not have. So if you can contribute to this in any way, shape, or form, I will leave a link down there in the description, all over the place. Click it, and maybe we'll be able to hit that goal. Thank you so much to everybody that's donated so far. You're really warming my heart. I really think that this is going to happen. Vlogs, interviews, reviews, it's going to happen. Thank you. Okay, back to the video. A guy from another band got into the mix, and that guy is Chris Franziak of the band Attila. Everybody might know him as Franz, and he's known to have a couple controversies of his own. Franz is very well known for using the F slur himself. If he sees something he doesn't agree with online, he calls them an F slur. I'm not gonna bring up any examples of it. You can go look for it yourself. I don't wanna show it really on the channel, but that's the kind of reputation that he has. On top of all that, there was a SA event that went on years ago. I don't wanna talk about any of that anyway, but it had to do with a minor, and yeah, he's just a gross, sick, weird, creepy dude, okay? But I'm not really here to talk about any of his weird, gross, creepy stuff. I'm just here to talk about this one dramatic situation, because Franz from Attila comes out and he piles on the hatred with what he is now calling a joke, okay? Now, Caleb's last name is Shomo, S-H-O-M-O, and Franz's joke was like, oh, he just took the S out or whatever, indicating that he only left the H-O-M-O part. A very homophobic joke just hurled towards one singer at another. And this just added fuel to the fire. Anybody sharing this song online, anybody reposting this is now seeing their comment sections just loaded with hatred for Caleb, hatred for the band, and just all sorts of really disgusting, anti-gay, homophobic stuff to a guy who's just like showing his abs a little bit and expressing himself. I don't know if you guys are familiar with rock and roll music, but it is a tradition as old as time for rock and rollers to wear makeup, to be a little bit sexually provocative, to really rise those kinds of conversations, you know? Absolutely nothing new going on here. No reason for this guy to be getting thrown all sorts of hate. But that's not really slowing them down a whole lot. Beartooth is still out there. They're still playing. They're doing their thing. It's just Caleb has deleted his Instagram account, and Chris Franziak, or Franzilla on Twitter, came out with a formal apology. Now you gotta remember the character of Franz, okay? Franz is a very degenerate type person who does bad person things. If you were to have this guy in a fictional piece of media, he would so clearly be a villain. But in today's day and age, he fits right in with the main cast of characters, I guess. Anyway, Franz goes on to say, I would like to formally apologize for my tweet about Caleb Shomo. It was meant as a joke, but it didn't come across that way. I don't know what he's going through at the moment, but I wish him all the best. The world has too much hate in it right now, and I don't want to add any fuel to the fire. Oh my God, doesn't that seem sincere? Coming from Franz from Attila. I don't want to add more hate to the world, Franz from Attila. Yes, bye. I fucking believe you here. This is absolutely the biggest pile of horse shit that I've ever read in my entire life. And it continues. He just keeps replying to his own little thread over here when he's gonna say, people will probably twist this into more negativity, but I'm being honest. It was meant as a joke, not a jab at gay people. I personally thought it was lighthearted, but I suppose that's subjective. Dude, bro, that is just nothing but cope. What are you talking about? He continues, from my perspective, I get death threats daily for over a decade. People call me horrific things and make up terrible stories. Horrible stuff every day. My perspective is skewed. The internet has desensitized me, so I thought it was a 1 out of 10 light joke. A 1 out of 10 light joke. Dude, bro, you saw all the hate that this guy was getting. You saw the variety of hate this guy was getting, and you added that particular fuel to that particular fire. I don't know how you can even pretend to be making these claims right now. This is ridiculous. And I don't know if you know what you're doing, buddy, but you're creating a lot of tribalism with this kind of behavior. And then to backpedal on it, absolutely crazy, because he ended up getting a lot of backlash for the joke. He continues, the reality is, people are struggling in their own ways, and jokes are subjective. You never know what someone is going through. Therefore, I am sorry, and I will work towards thinking about things deeper before I word vomit shit into this Bird app. Love y'all. The Bird app hasn't existed for a long time, Franz. It is definitely not 2012 anymore. You have to grow up. This dude has always had the biggest case of arrested development that I have ever seen, and that is continuing to this day, apparently. Because what kind of apology is this? But now's the time in the video for my opinion. Yeah, word. I don't care about any of this. I think this is so stupid. I don't care about any of the bans at all. Of course, I hate homophobia. Of course, I hate harassment and all that sort of stuff. But that shouldn't need to be said. You know, that goes without saying. Clearly, obviously. Now, it is true that online hate and harassment can lead to really dark and depressing things. People can take really dramatic action from what goes on the internet. So I actually think that it's kind of good that Caleb deleted the profile just to dodge all this heat while he can. I think that that's just smart. I don't see that as cowardly. I don't see that as pathetic or weak or feeding into the trolls or whatever. I think that's smart. That's like, okay, there's a lot of heat at this current moment for me on the internet. I just need to unplug for a little bit. I'm just going to delete this for a little bit. People aren't going to be able to tag me, and I'm not going to see any of their vitriolic nonsense. And I think that that's just very good stuff. I think that that's cool, because it's not like Caleb is running and hiding. He's still out there playing his shows, and he's on tour and stuff like that. And maybe unplugging from the internet so you can focus at the task at hand is actually a really, really smart and commendable thing and should be respected. You know, and it does kind of suck to see someone get this much hate just because they're choosing to express themselves. It's not like this guy went out there and did something bad. It's not like this guy did any Epstein Island type things. This guy just wore a jacket that people didn't like. This guy just put makeup on his face that people didn't like, and it just caused so much hatred, you know? If we could direct this hatred towards the people that really deserve it, Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, Donald Trump, you know, that would be great. Those are the people that deserve this kind of vitriolic hatred, but instead, we're gonna throw it at the Beartooth guy because he's wearing a crop top leather jacket. Give me a fucking break, people. This is pathetic. But Franz is right about one thing over here. He definitely does get death threats on a daily basis, and people do call him horrific things. But all of that is for, I don't know, what do I call it? Good reason? You have a track record, Franz. You've left a paper trail longer than the Great Wall of China, brother. For as long as allegations have been a thing in the whole scene, you've been at the forefront of absolutely all of them. Of course, people are going to carry this on to this day. You do not have a good reputation. You are a very dislikable person. And basically, I see this apology as more or less like, I don't know, self-preservation, if anything, and it doesn't really seem to be going over very well. All the comments underneath it are not supportive. There's not a lot of likes on this thing. Everybody is ratioing you. I could come in and just put poop, poop, butt, pee, pee, poop, poop, butt, and it would ratio you in an instant. You're Franz from Attila, and you're coming out here with this apology, and it's got 84 likes? Jesus Christ, bro. You've fallen off a lot. But as far as the single is concerned, Free by Beartooth, I'm sure the whole band is pretty bummed that the reception is not going so great. People hated the song and music video so very much. Even people that weren't homophobic were still like, man, this song fucking sucks. What are these guys doing? Imagine showing people Beartooth and this is the song that you chose. That kind of energy, right? And then on top of it, all that other stuff. So I'm sure the band is very bummed about this song rollout, and they're very nervous about how everything is going to go from here on out. But it really does seem like after Franz got involved, after he said some pretty rude and unnecessary things, we'll say, and he's the one out here having to apologize right now, and Franz is the one making the statement, well then I'm thinking that maybe we might end up on the right side of history here after all. Maybe Caleb Shoma will return to the internet, maybe the band will regroup and they'll be like, you know what, it wasn't the best song, it wasn't the best approach artistically, but who's to say? I'm sure it's very emotional, I'm sure they all have their own little takes about it within the camp of the band on the tour bus right now. But I just really hope that they're all supporting one another, getting through the shows fine, whatever, you know? It's not my kind of music, but I don't really wish ill on anyone, except for Franz. That guy fucking sucks, man.